Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for tuning in to Canal Algérie's nightly news. On to the headlines. The President of the Republic celebrates the International Labour Day with workers and reiterates his commitments regarding salaries raise. The former workers of Nanterre Consulate are honored as a token of gratitude to their immense sacrifices and efforts to serve our nationals. And the Sahrawi struggle for freedom tops Fi Sahara Festival, a special coverage from the refugee camps. Welcome back. We begin with tonight's main story, where the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, shared with the Algerian workers the celebration of the International Labour Day here in Algiers, reiterating his commitments regarding the salaries increase meant to improve their living conditions and consolidate their purchasing power. The roundup with Minissa Kabash.
On the occasion of the International Labour Day, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, headed for the headquarters of the Algerian Workers' Trade Union, or UGTA, at the level of the 1st of May Square. At his arrival, the President was received by the Secretary General of the General Union of Algerian Workers, Ammar Takjout, Labour Minister Faisal Ben Taleb, and Algiers Governor. Accompanied by the Secretary General and the son of martyr Abdelhaq Ben Hamouda, the President laid a wreath of flowers in front of the commemorative steles of both martyrs Aissa Tidir and Abdelhaq Ben Hamouda. The President recalled the memory of workers who engraved their names with their commitment, faithfulness towards the country, and their defense for workers' rights, in addition to the martyrs of the Liberation War and national duty. President Tebboune hailed those welcoming him, including the President of the Council of Nations, the Speaker of the People's National Assembly, the Prime Minister, the head of the Constitutional Court, the Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, the Director of the Presidency's Cabinet, the Personal Secretary of the President of the Republic, and finally the General Secretary of the Presidency. A warm welcome was granted to the head of state at the UGTA premises of the Central Labour Union by workers and representatives of the different unions in recognition of his efforts and will to preserve the right of workers and their dignity.
ونزيد نبلغكم وانتم أول من يسمعها أن مجلس الوزراء يوم الأحد إن شاء الله ربما يتأجل بيومين، أيوة الأحد يكون 2 ولا 3 باش نقرر الزيادة في الريترات.
The President indicated that an increase of 10% and 15% in retirement allowances will be approved during the next Council of Ministers. He also exposed the ascending curve of wages. The measure is meant to help people with low incomes and the minimum guaranteed salary. The head of state hailed as well the efforts of the health sector's personnel, announcing the ongoing development of particular status of the medical corps and that of education, taking into consideration the nobleness of this job, affirming that he agreed with the General Secretary regarding the tripartite as a mechanism of dialogue as long as we apply these decisions. The head of state underlined the necessity of dialogue with all nationalists and the UGTA to reach right decisions.
وما ننساكمش والجزائر ما تنساكمش. أنا جو فو ان ستاتيو مونترون لا نوبليس دو كور با دراهم نعطيك يسرني أن أقف اليوم بينكم ونحن نحتفي بعيد العمل
During his keynote speech, the President of the Republic expressed his recognition to exchange with workers during this international feast in this highly symbolic place, considered as a pillar of Algeria's history.
الحمد لله البلاد بدأت تأخذ مجراها طبيعي في صالح العاملات والعمال، في صالح الاقتصاد الوطني، وفي صالح الانعتاق الوطني من كل ما يدور في العالم حاليا. وإذ نقف اليوم معا نستشعر بكل فخر واعتزاز.
The head of state also paid homage to the high sense of patriotism of the deceased Abd al-Haq bin Hamouda.
ضد الهمجية الإرهابية الرجل الفذ عبد الحق بن حمودة الذي نترحم على روحه الطاهرة وعلى أرواح كل من قضى نحبه ممن ساروا على دربه.
قبية ممثلة في رئيس الاتحاد العام للعمال الجزائريين أن يهدوكم في شخصكم سيدي رئيس الجمهورية هذه الهدية التذكارية بعد توشيحكم بلقب النقبي الأول.
At the end of the ceremony, President of the Republic Abdelmajid Tebboune was honored by the General Secretary of the UGTA on behalf of the entire unions and was given the name of the first trade unionist. As the General Secretary, he commended for his part the efforts made by the President of the Republic to preserve the rights of workers and all achievements implemented within the work field, including the increase of salaries and retirement allowances.
In a related context, a special tribute was paid to former Algerian workers of Nanterre Consulate as a token of gratitude to their great efforts and immense sacrifices in serving our nationals in France. The event so moving, according to our permanent correspondent Afaf Belhouchet, our desk reporter Ines Kil.
After the surprise, it was emotion that took over these faces so familiar to our nationals in Nanterre, and for good reason. They all spent more than 40 years serving them behind the counters. Under the applause and joy, a tribute was paid to these retirees of the consulate in Nanterre in the presence of the council and several figures.
I live in Mula. It took me 90 kilometers in the morning to get here, 90 kilometers in the evening to get home, but I made it through to the end. I've been here for 49 years. I've worked with a very good team who were my second family. I'm very proud of my country. I represented my country for over 30 years. We've had good and bad times, of joy and painful moments as well, but honestly, I'm proud to be Algerian.
This event was a good initiative from the associations of Hauts-de-Seine residents who were keen to honor their retirees from the consulate where they grew up.
In fact, there's a great history between people of Nanterre community and the consulate. We sometimes play matches together. We've met at weddings, we've met outside the cafes, and we've talked about problems like other people.
This story was told by the Deputy Sabrina Sebaihi, who was behind the resolution passed by the French Senate recognizing the massacres of October 17, 1961, and who was present at the ceremony alongside other key figures associated with this event.
L'Algérie revient et suit la route de mon époux, le président Boumediene.
Algeria is following the footsteps of my husband, late President Boumediene. May God grant him his mercy. We have very high hopes for our country's development.
La réussite de notre pays, il y a de véritables projets.
In a very festive atmosphere, we all share the same feeling of pride and hope.
Tasked by the head of state, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, arrived in the capital of Denmark, Copenhagen, to take part in the proceedings of the 21st session of the meeting of African foreign ministers and their Nordic counterparts, issues of which will revolve mainly around peace, security, trade and investment, as well as multilateral cooperation. In a sad news, we have learned this evening that the Gnawi music icon Hasna al-Bashariya passed away at the age of 74 years after a struggle with the disease. The Algerian diva toured many Algerian provinces before she left us at Bishar Hospital. Her artistic legacy and female touch in the diwan genre remains, as she is considered the first to play the Grand Prix. She is known for many hits such as Aljazair Jawhara. Her works resonated with many around the world. After all, the late represented Algeria in many international events and promoted this musical style. Indeed, to Allah we belong, and to Him we shall return. On to the operational report of the People's National Army's activity in the past week. In the context of the fight against terrorism and during a search and sweep operation in the zone of Tamougla Wed Fidda municipality in Shlif, a detachment of the People's National Army killed a terrorist named B. Samir, known as Abu Dhuha, who was in possession of a Kalashnikov type submachine gun, quantity of ammunition, and other items, while the terrorist Ji Abdurrahman, known as Yusuf Zakaria, surrounded to the military authorities in Burj Waji Mukhtar in possession of FMPK machine gun, an automatic pistol, a grenade, and a quantity of ammunition and other quantities of explosives, detonation tools, which were also discovered and destroyed. In the same wake, a PNA detachment eliminated 3 dangerous robbers in possession of an automatic pistol who sowed trouble among citizens of Burj Waji Mukhtar. Other detachments proceeded to arrest 11 support elements of terrorist groups during separate operations across the national territory. In the framework of the fight against organized crime and in continuation of the tireless efforts aimed at countering the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the PNA intercepted, in coordination with the different security services, in operations across the military regions, 53 drug traffickers and averted attempts to introduce 228 kilograms of processed keef through the borders with Morocco, while 135 grams of cocaine and more than 986,000 psychotropic tablets were seized. In Tamnaras, Burj Waji Mukhtar, Ingizam, and Tindouf, detachments of the People's National Army arrested 317 individuals and seized 33 vehicles, 132 generators, 98 jackhammers, 6 metal detectors, as well as a quantity of explosives, detonation tools, and other equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. On the other hand, 35 other individuals were arrested, 23 hunting rifles, 4 automatic pistols, 48,000 liters of fuel, 100 quintals of foodstuffs intended for smuggling and speculation, 63 quintals of tobacco, 69,000 units of various beverages were seized during separate operations across the national territory. Similarly, border guards thwarted at the level of our national coast attempt at illegal immigration of 8 individuals aboard traditionally made boats, while 272 illegal immigrants of different nationalities were arrested across the national territory. In our daily window on the situation in the Middle East, in Gaza, the genocide perpetrated by the Zionists is still ongoing. The death toll exceeded 34,500 martyrs. According to CPG, or the Committee to Protect Journalists, as of May 1st, 2024, at least 97 of the martyrs were journalists. This while the number of injured exceeded 77,000 as a result of the ongoing Zionist airstrikes. Waves of protests are taking place around the globe to end the ethnical cleansing. The fight against colonialism also involves the cinema. This is what the Fi Sahara Festival promises every year. The event in its 18th edition is held under the slogan, "The Struggle Till Victory." Our special envoy, Fatima bin Fadlallah, reports in Awsird in the Sahrawi refugee camps, taken up by Ines Killo.
For the 18th consecutive year, Awsird in the Sahrawi refugee camps of Tindouf province hosted the International Western Sahara Film Festival, a rich and varied cultural event that will continue throughout the week under the slogan Sahrawi Resistance and Identity. For this edition, El Khayma.
يعني هذا المهرجان تحضر أكثر من 17 دولة من مختلف دول العالم.
More than 17 countries are taking part in this event, including films, workshops, and other cultural activities.
ما يرافق من نشاطات ثقافية متمثلة في المحصر الثقافي التقليدي والمخيم والمعارض.
We would like to hold this festival in the Dakhla in the occupied Sahrawi territories. The film festival is an opportunity for us to call for independence and condemn racial discrimination.
The films participating in the festival carry messages of solidarity with the Sahrawi people while highlighting the central role of Sahrawi women.
هي رسالة للاحتلال أن لا ممثل للشعب الصحراوي.
Thanks to this festival, we are conveying a message to the occupier. Only the liberation movement of Saqiyat al-Hamra and Wad al-Dahab represents the Sahrawi people, and our culture, which the occupier is trying to root out, is being celebrated today thanks to this event.
The holding of this international festival is an unmissable event that demonstrates the growing solidarity with the Sahrawi people in their just struggle for freedom and self-determination for the last colony in the continent.
Our last stopover tonight is Annaba, precisely the Mediterranean Film Festival that came to a close. The Spanish movie Matria took home the award of Gazelle d'Or of the fourth edition, directed by Ivaro Gago. The actress Maria Vázquez also snatched the award of Best Female Actress for the same movie. As for the Best Male Actor genre, Palestinian actor Saleh Bakri was awarded for his role in the movie The Teacher by Farah Nabulsi. Additionally, Best Scenario was bestowed upon Baran Gonda Salpa's movie titled Rosinante, while the jury's prize was granted to France Fanon by Abdel Noor Azahzah. That was all for tonight's news. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.